All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back. For those of you who tune into the channel, kind of look at what I do with my FC in the back, and then also I've started to put some content about my brother's 86, which pretty much built from the ground up. Today we're going to do something simple. I hope, you know, I say that I hope because with this car, I say it's going to be easy, and then it turns into this hate affair with this car. But what we got today is something that you don't really see very often on 86s, but it's a Carbing tri-strut tower brace. I've only seen pictures of this thing, but it's kind of an expensive piece and I wanted it. And also, if you're new to 86s, no one ever talks about this. Everybody talks about initial D and the car, but does anybody bring up the fact that the sheet metal on the 86 is paper thin? The reason I know this from experience, if you go online, you'll see a lot of reinforcement plates for the 86 on the box part of the frame, also in back of the seats. It's paper thin. I had my buddy come and weld some reinforcement plates, and we were just popping through the thinnest metal. So it makes sense that we need a strut tower brace on this car to get everything a little bit tidier. If you can notice right here, we've already put the flossy reinforcement plates. We have a couple down there on the box part of the frame. But yeah, today we're going to be installing this Carbing piece. Carbing, I guess that's how you say it, or if you know, if you're from other parts of the country, you'll say it Carbing, whatever is your preference. But yeah, I'm hoping it goes easy, but you know, let's give it a shot. Do this first, these three, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Don't need that anymore. Man, we've been dealing with double-sided butyl all the time.
Yeah, just double-sided tape on the FC. This isn't as bad. The FC was a pain in the ass.
No.
But check this out. This is how paper thin the fucking 86 sheet metal is. So it's just the same over here on the strut tower. So when we were welding these plates down here, it was just popping on the weld. So as we were coming down right here, it would pop, and hell, it almost caught fire on the seams sealant on the other side. So yeah, the 86 chassis is weak. It's cool, but it's weak. And just as I thought, easier said than done. So we try to pretty much just throw it on there as you would expect, and we're gonna have to lift the car a little bit so we can get the studs of the actual strut not pointing in a specific direction. So right now the car's on the ground, so it's pointing directly up. So I figured that if we lift the car a little bit, obviously the bolts are loose, or they're not even there for the actual camber plates. It'll take away some tension so we can wiggle it around both on the passenger and driver side. They did supply some hardware, so it's like an M6 bolt and a nut. And at first I was trying to use a magnet to kind of get the threads going on the bolt itself, but Caleb was pretty smart and said, hey, why don't you take off the vents and see if you can actually reach on the back? And sure enough, he was right. So pretty much you run the nut, you run the bolt from the back, and then you get the nut on the front end, And that's how you kind of get this tri-point here. So next we're gonna try to lift the car, get it to slide in on the slots of the actual strut tower base, and then we should be good to go. So yeah. Carbing. Okay, so it's actually working in our favor. At first I thought I was gonna have to expand the slots, and I'd be pretty pissed about that because you spend so much money on a fucking $400 part that it doesn't fit. But with anything aftermarket, sometimes it doesn't fit. But the odds were in our favor today. So we figured out how this works over here. And then we lifted the car up on the passenger side just a little bit. And surprisingly, a little smack put everything into place. So we have the 3 bolts and the nuts over here. And then we'll put the remaining nuts here, because shit is nuts. Then I'm gonna do a little tightening with my impact just to bring everything a little bit closer. A little right there. There. Just a little tight, and then I'll drop the car on the passenger side, and then we'll torque this to spec, which we're kind of just going off the FC torque specs that I have, which is 22 foot-pounds to 27 foot-pounds. I think that'll be fine. I'm running Fortune 500s on the FC as well, so why would it be any different? Same studs. So let's just drop it. And there you go. Just gotta have to tighten this a little bit more. All right, so what just happened?
So we did put in the carbon braid, and a couple months ago we also replaced the core support. But seeing how thin the metal is on the 86, it seems that putting the tri-point allowed to construct the 3 points of the chassis and the engine bay, so up there. And basically what it did was actually realign the chassis back, because this was an $80 car and it had crash damage on it, and it looked like we just fixed all of the bodywork.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I did see it when we pretty much tightened it just a little bit with some ugga-duggas. You actually saw the sheet metal over there kind of bend a little bit, which, you know, isn't comforting, but now it's all squared up. So we're gonna tighten and torque the nuts here, the nuts on the driver's side, and then we'll put it's a 10 millimeter socket and a wrench for this backside, and we're pretty much done.
Gabbing.
Carbing.
Gabbing.
Carbing. Alright guys, so it actually went pretty damn smooth. The only like scary oh shit moment we were having is as we were torquing down the nuts for the camber plates against the existing sheet metal on the strut tower and also the strut tower brace, you kind of saw it sandwich itself together. It's not exactly the most comfortable sight, but yeah, pretty straightforward. We already put the little trims back on the cowl. We checked the hood for clearance, no problems there. So damn, this is probably one of the easiest things I've done in a very long time for this car. I've been posting a couple videos about this car. I have our kind of standard baseline lap at Streets of Willow. We were there a couple weeks ago with Toga to Track. First time the car was on track, actually trying to push it. One of the wires on the coil came out, so we were running on 3 out of 4 cylinders. Hey, but it's a Toyota. It got there, came back. Unfortunately, it didn't have the Toyota gas mileage that I wanted. But we're going to be going back in February with Toga to Track again. We're going to do Streets of Willow again. We're making some modifications to the car. I'm going to be speaking in a different video about the FC. It's down. It's going to be a couple years out until we get that back on track. Motor's fouled with the coolant seals, so we'll talk about that in a different video. But yeah, this is going to be the track car. To those with a keen eye, this is not a regular 4AG. It is a 20-volt silver top, and this is going to be my track car. It's my brother's car, but we're going to be both driving it. He's going to be learning how to drive. I'm going to be driving an older car than the FC that doesn't handle as well as the FC. But yeah, we're going to be upgrading a couple parts in the suspension and just pushing this car as best as we can and having fun with it. But it is a rowdy little car. As you can see, we have the filters here. There's ITBs in there for those fanboys out there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the strut tower bar. I had seen it online for a long time. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe, like. We're going to be putting out more content, Caleb and I, about the FC, his FC in 2024, and the 86. So yeah, thanks guys.